when we were thoughtful about the history of Black people in America, resilience is the word that comes to mind in thinking about you and I sitting here today, Nasdaq and Microsoft having a conversation, two leaders about the impact that we have on the world, the impact that we're having on people every day, the impact we have on our customers. And so that's what I look at as resilience.
You trying to take my breath away? Because mission accomplished. Hello, Nasdaq followers. My name is Jaquan Williams, Global Manager of Nasdaq's Employer Brand and proud member of Nasdaq's Globe Employee Network. And I have the great pleasure of sitting with Tanya Mahan-Rogers, Chair of Blacks at Microsoft Worldwide. Tanya, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to sit down and have this conversation with you.
Absolutely. So, what brings you to Nasdaq this Black History Month?
So, as the chair of Blacks at Microsoft, for the last few years, we've had a really great partnership, Blacks at Microsoft and Globe. We've had a great partnership, and so we have this opportunity today to ring the closing bell. So we're really excited to celebrate Black History Month in this way by being able to ring the closing bell today.
I love that. So let's take a step back. Tell us more about you.
So I am a Director of Customer Success at Microsoft. I've been with Microsoft for 8 years, and I work in our financial services industry with our banking customers. I'm also the Blacks at Microsoft Worldwide Chair. And so in that role, I'm responsible for helping to lead an organization of almost 4,000 employees across the globe. And we'll talk a little bit more about what we do with BAM
Yeah,
as we
absolutely.
talk.
And so BAM's been around, I think, for 34 years, I believe you mentioned?
Yeah, we're actually celebrating our 34th anniversary this year. Very, very proud of that. And Blacks at Microsoft is the first and oldest ERG employee resource group at Microsoft. So we wear that badge with a lot of pride because now Microsoft boasts 9 employee resource groups, and a lot of the employee resource groups have learned from what BAM has been able to accomplish over the last 34 years.
I love that. So for people who have never heard of ERG or Employee Resource Group, could you just summarize that for us?
Sure. So the purpose of the Employee Resource Group is really about community. And it's about learning and about becoming educated and educating. When you're working in an environment where there's so many diverse personalities, cultures, ideas, perspectives, it's really important to have a sense of community, a sense of where you come from, but as well as share that with other people who may not have been exposed to your community as they were growing up or as part of their work environment. And so I would say community is the real sense of employee resource groups, and all employee resource groups really encourage allyship. So those people that maybe not identify directly with that community to become part of that community and, like I said, learn and become educated and understand how to work better together.
Absolutely, that was a great explanation. ERGs are awesome. So can you talk more about how tech and innovation are shaping the future of D&I efforts at Microsoft and support the development of the Blacks at Microsoft Scholarship?
Yeah, so couple parts to that question. Obviously, working for a tech company, we are at the forefront of identifying how diversity and inclusion and equity intersect with technology. And if you think about artificial intelligence as it's been progressing over the last couple decades and where we are today, it's so important to have the integration and the intersection of inclusion and diversity, thought, experiences, insight built into technology. Because you want to be able to have representation in the technology that you're building. So as my son is playing his video games, he wants to be able to see characters that look like him or that maybe interact like him or have some commonality. And so that diversity is really important. And when you think about the role that BAM plays, for example, at Microsoft, we are helping to inform our development teams and our engineering teams on ways that they can consider how to integrate the Black and African American experience into our technology. We're also helping to inform the ways in which Microsoft is thinking about the Black and African American experience across the globe in a lot of different ways, including events, social injustice events, as well as policy change, as well as, like you said, how we're integrating it into technology. And so it's really important when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion to have the diverse thought. And so that's really a huge role that companies should allow employee resource groups to play in their development of technology.
Absolutely, diversity of thought is key. So how has being chair of Blacks at Microsoft impacted your life, and how do you think it's impacted the lives of others?
Well, I'll start with how I'm impacted. I've been at Microsoft now for almost 8 years, and I've been a part of Blacks at Microsoft in some capacity, a lot in leadership at different levels for almost that entire time. And that is really how passionate I am about the mission and the vision of not only Blacks at Microsoft, but of Microsoft's diversity and inclusion strategy and how we're communicating that to the world. So I am fulfilled. It allows me, as a employee resource group leader, it allows me to fulfill a passion of participating in how my community shows up for Microsoft, how my community shows up in Microsoft's products and services and solutions, and how my community, the Black and African American community, can provide insight and direction and guidance, not only to Microsoft, but to the community, and represent. Representation is so important, Jaquan. And when you think about representation, as I noted earlier about my son, I mean, you really want to think about who is visible to those that are looking to work at Microsoft in the future, who is visible to those that will be informing the technology that's going to be developed in the future. And do they see a path to those roles and those job opportunities to be able to sit in those roles? And so as a leader at BAM, I take so much pride in not only the work that we do, but the partnership we have with Microsoft, with organizations like Globe and other employee resource groups. And so it's fulfilling a passion, right? I get to work, I get to come every day to work and fulfill a passion of mine alongside delivering the work I do for my customers as a customer success director. Now, I'll note that my hope is that I provide an example to other people of what they can also do. And I always hope that they deliver it even better than the way I've delivered it. So how I may have impacted other people, it's serving as a representative. It's showing other young girls that careers in tech is possible. It's showing other young brown and Black girls that a career in tech is possible. And hopefully, in coming across as a strong leader in this community, I hope that they know too that they in the future can be strong leaders within their communities and with whatever career track they choose.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and give you one of these. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So as Nasdaq continuously strives to advance economic progress for all, we amplify the voices of our communities who have demonstrated resilience through the years to carve this path forward. So, what does resilience mean to you, and how do you cultivate it?
I love this question because this month, as we celebrate Black History Month, as I say in the US, because across the globe, Black history is celebrated at different times throughout the year, we are reminded, the Blacks at Microsoft community and as we educate our allies and we engage with our allies, we are reminded of our resilience as a people. It is such a powerful word to remember that regardless of the challenges you have faced, regardless of the issues that you have had to encounter. And that could be everything from the way someone responds to you. It could be watching things unfold on the news and watching really uncomfortable scenarios happen in our community. Resilience is what is going to get us through. Resilience is what is going to allow us to move into the future being leaders, becoming leaders, and showing up, not only for our community, but having the strength to educate other communities. And I feel like that's a really important part of this. And that being open to dialogue and communication and conversation is a really, really important part of what employee resource groups provide to organizations. And so when we talk about resilience, we talk about we are going to see a better future on the other side of whatever it is that we're talking about. You know, Jaquan, when we were thoughtful about the history of Black people in America, resilience is the word that comes to mind in thinking about you and I sitting here today, Nasdaq and Microsoft having a conversation, two leaders about the impact that we have on the world, the impact that we're having on people every day, the impact we have on our customers. And so that's what I look at as resilience.
You trying to take my breath away? Because mission accomplished. Done. So
keep that in. No.
well, let's conclude here.
Okay.
So this Black History Month, Nasdaq is highlighting how to amplify, educate, and invest in the development of Black professionals who continue to rewrite tomorrow. So as the chair of Blacks at Microsoft, what advice do you have for the next generation as they pursue career development?
So I'm going to start with resilience. Because as I think about my career path, and I have a little bit more time left to go in my career, but also as I think about my children and their friends, I really want them to persevere through. Because no matter what, being able to persevere is really what's going to allow them to have the success that they want to have, regardless of the career path that they want. So it's really about being strong in moments where you feel like you can't be strong. It's about reaching inside to recognize that you have the power, the potential, and the ability to do exactly what you're doing today, right? And I think that that's a big part of that energy is what we lend to each other every day as we're navigating really challenging, complicated scenarios at work. And so when we think about our youth, it's really about instilling in them confidence, and even early in career, it's about confidence, it's about resilience, reminding them that this moment that you're in, that you can get through that moment. And when you have a win, you celebrate that win. When you have a win, you say that you have earned that. And I think that that's a big part of it, is really recognizing the role that each of us play in our own success and making sure that we go after that as much as possible. And really, that's when you look at anyone that has succeeded in their career, that's what they've done. They've fallen down, they've gotten back up. Most people that have had really productive, healthy careers have had some things that they had to handle and go through. And so I hope that young people and people as they're navigating their careers are thoughtful about remembering that they are powerful, they are strong, and that they can get to where they're trying to get to. I'll also add that it's important for us to lean on each other. I think in this day and age, as we think about the importance of inclusion in companies, it's important for all of us to be there for each other. allies, members of our community. It's important for us to speak up. It's important for us to speak out and to have a collective voice when it comes to things that need to get done. And that could be everything from speaking out about something happening in the community that might be impacting the company, but it also is about when you are facing challenges with your customers, coming together as a collective, using that diversity of thought and experience, and being open to receiving the insight from different people about different ways that that scenario may be handled. And I think as we continue to work in those motions, we'll be able to see just amazing things happen from people that are navigating their careers, especially our youth.
Yeah, I hope y'all was taking notes. That's such amazing advice. Tanya, thank you for spending some time with us in the studio today.
Of course,
I'm gonna go ahead and steal another fist bump.
Thank you, Jaquan. It's been a pleasure.